Love is an action, never simply a feeling. Bell Hooks, the Black feminist scholar and writer, taught that love is a radical, transformative force for justice and liberation. She reminds us that love is an action, never simply a feeling. Beloveds, imagine a candle in the darkness, one small flickering light. That kind of is how we're feeling right now. Alone, one candle, one flicker is vulnerable, but when that candle, another one is lit from that flame, then another, the darkness does not even stand a chance. This is the power of love in community. Love, when shared, grows. Love, when acted upon, when we show up, love transforms. But what does love look like? Love is a beloved who shows up with soup when you're too sick to cook. Has that happened? Mm-hmm. Love is the person who stays after to help clean up. Has that happened? Love are our teachers and our assistants who learns each and every child's name and pronouns correctly. Does that happen? Love is the beloved who checks in after a storm, an emergency, or a crisis and just says, "Hey, how are you?" Love is also the people who have time and time again changed the world. Love sat at the lunch counters during the civil rights movements, refusing to leave until all were served with dignity, not once, not for a month, but for years. Love stood at the front lines of the Stonewall Uprising, even when they erased the T, demanding freedom for LGBTQIA people, all people. Love held hands at Standing Rock, praying over sacred water and refusing to let it be poisoned. Love is presence. Love is endurance. Love is showing up again and again to demand not to just do something, but also to bear witness, to listen, to care. Beloveds, these are difficult times. I don't know how many times I've written that sentence this week, this past couple of weeks. The world feels fractured. Ooh, I keep on moving, I apologize. Rooted. The world feels fractured. Many of us are deeply grieving. Grieving is not just the only word. Not just for those we have lost, but for the deep wounds in our community and our country, even in our own families and immediate circles. It is exhausting. Yes? Exhausting. It is overwhelming, and it's okay to feel that way. To name and find rest. I see you, we see you. Love holds and sees us all. If you are scared, since we are scared, if you are weary, since we are weary, know this: you do not have to hold it all alone. Thank you, Ken. We were never meant to. You've heard us say a few times this morning, love is the spirit of this congregation, and love does not demand that you be unbreakable. Love only asks that you bring what you have with you, your presence, your truth, your story, your tenderness, your aching heart, and place it within this circle of community where it will be held. Love is movement. Love is justice and inclusion, but love is also a place to rest. Love makes space for grief. So if you need to cry, cry. We have boxes of Kleenex upon Kleenex. My shoulders are broad. If you need to lean on spiritual community, lean. That's why we are here. To remind each other that no matter how hard it gets, it will get. Let us not be illusioned in that. Love will not let us go. And love will not let us turn away from those who need care and witness right now. Love sees our beloveds, our federal employees and contractors who lost their jobs, who had to resign, who have retired, or who go to work every day in unfathomable, difficult and hostile environments, insulting environments, navigating fear, uncertainty, and stress. Love sees you and holds you. Love sees the parents, the children, and siblings of us all carrying it. But love also sees those in our immediate circles, those that we love but we no longer understand, trying to bridge impossible political divides in this moment. Love sees the exhaustion of those who have spent years working for justice, only to find that the work is never done. But also love reminds us that our survival is a form of resistance. Our joy is a form of resistance. Our rest is a form of resistance. Howard Thurman, the great theologian and mystic, reminds us, do not ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and then go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And beloveds, we do not come alive alone. We need each other in spaces. We come alive in shared laughter and music and joy and breaking bread and muffins and homemade treats and writing group and pastoral care groups and sangha and hiking groups. Love comes alive in held hands and burdens lifted together. This is why we gather, not just to hear words, but to be part of something greater than ourselves alone. In a world that isolates, divides, and teaches fear, promotes fear, we come together to practice a different way of being. We come together to organize meal trains for families in crisis. We come together to create safe spaces like Rainbow Youth Alliance for LGBTQ youth and young people, where they can feel safe and celebrated. We come together so we can take turns holding that candle so that no one has to carry the light alone. We come together in quiet ways, in unseen ways, when we check in on a friend, on a beloved, when we offer grace instead of judgment. We really need that right now. When we choose kindness over convenience. Professor Dr. James Cone, one of my seminary professors at Union Theological Seminary, who's a father of Black liberation theology, reminds us God's liberating work is not done in quiet corners, but in the lives of the poor and the unwanted. Love calls us to that same work, not in silence, not in whispers, but in steadfast compassion and presence. So what do we do in times like these? When fear and hatred seem to have the microphone, even though mine's pretty loud. What do we do when we feel tired and overwhelmed? We remember that love is not soft. We remember that love is strong, especially together. Love is enduring. Love is the spirit of this congregation if we choose it. We choose love when we show up for one another, when we listen to each other, when we embrace and hold space for grief and joy, for anger and healing. We choose love when we believe, despite it all, that another world is possible. And we do believe that, yes? Another world is possible, and we create it here. Adrienne Marie Brown, a prophet of our time, has said, the small is all. Reality is fractal. So the reality and the community and the love that we create here is possible to replicate across communities. But it begins small, with just you, and just you, and just you. One by one, breath by breath, word by word, connection by connection. Even when we are scared, even when we are grieving, even when we are unsure, we believe another world is possible, and it starts with us. We believe in a love that calls us to be a people of sanctuary and covenant, to believe in a love that extends hands, offers comfort. We believe in a love that is stronger than fear. So we believe in the power of being together. So let us breathe together, to find rest together. That holy pause that reminds us that we are fully human beings and are carrying so much in our bones and our spirits and our hearts that's weighing down our shoulders. Lay it down in spiritual community, in this space. Because love has things to say for you. Love is whispering in your heart. Perhaps it's a quiet calling for this moment or this day. Perhaps it's a monumental shift. Love is asking you to be open for what is possible. The great Audre Lorde declared, "When we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it's better to speak." So let us listen. Let us speak. Let us serve. Let us be that love. And because we continue to adapt to the moment, I'm going to offer some words of benediction now and invite Bonfire to come forward to bless us with a postlude. I want to honor our children and our youth that are with our wonderful RE families, but they don't want to be there for another 20 minutes. Our words of benediction, my loves. Go in love, for love is our guide and our calling. Go in compassion, tending to the wounds of the world. Go in resilience, knowing that survival, rest, and joy are holy acts. Go in service, with hands open and hearts strong. All right, I like that. Can you do that again? Can I get a da-da-da? Yeah. There you go. Go together, for we are never alone, and we need music to inspire us. May our lives preach louder than our lips, and may love always have the final word. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so.